Hey guys and gals, Joe here, the man who's been listening to an awful lot of cranberries today, and I'm here to talk about UFC Fight Night Singapore, or Holloway versus the Korean Zombie, and a good amount to discuss, so enough talk. Let's just get to the fights. So for the main event of UFC Singapore, we had the Korean Zombie making what would be his final walk to the octagon, taking on Holloway, who is just heavy-hearted after the tragedy that is going on right now in Hawaii with the wildfires. So kind of an emotional walkout for both guys. And also I apologize if I'm talking a little quietly. It's 6 a.m. here. My best friend's asleep, so he's in the room next to me, so I'm just gonna ASMR Joe's back. So early on in the first, we see both dudes just scrapping. I felt like Holloway was getting the better of the striking battle. At one point, Zombie did land a good shot that was clean, and Holloway just cracked him right back as soon as Korean Zombie Chan Sung Jung tried to capitalize on this shot. Felt very telling, I guess I could say, as the fight went on. Very telling. So second round, Chan Sung Jung does hit the mat. He gets knocked down by a right hand, and Holloway pounces, eventually getting a Darce choke that looked very tight, and they were in it for a very long time. And like Mark Goddard checked the arm, it was not quite pro wrestling-esque of, kind of fighting on after the third one. But his arm, he was still conscious, he was still going. And that's another round for Holloway after that one, though. Third round, after a blitz from Chan Sung Jung and trying to take the initiative, trying to make something happen, Holloway just found a way to put a Zombie down, which is just this big old right-hand headshot. Sent him to the mat, no follow-up shots, kind of a walk-off, very reserved knockout win. And Max Holloway does win by knockout in the third round. Excuse me. Very emotional win for him as he was channeling that Lahaina Mana. He kept saying it was like, I guess, Lahaina, where the wildfires are going on, known for its like spiritual kind of thing going on there. I've never been to Hawaii, so I remember hearing about that, like him talking about it. He's been emotional all week. Loves his home state. Like, if you've never, like, Hawaii, I would describe for people that aren't American, Hawaii feels like its own separate country in a weird way. Like Oklahoma has a culture that is different from like New York culture and California culture, but Hawaii feels like its own safe haven of culture that is just ever present and thriving. Hawaii seems like a wonderful place. I have to go one day. I have to go, and so my heart does bleed because it's a place I've always admired. I've always loved their culture, and seeing a guy like Max Holloway who loves his state, like his home, like just as much as anybody, just be emotional this week and really channeling that aura, that oomph going on there. Was really good to see. He was even wearing red trunks for the first time in his career, which is what Hawaiian fighters wear. They typically wear red trunks. Another thing that's like kind of like, see, American fighters will wear this color trunks, but Hawaiian fighters, even though they are American, they wear red trunks. It's kind of another interesting little thing there. But the big story, though, is Chan Sung Jung, absolute legend of the sport, first ballot Hall of Famer in my book. And this is he does call it a career, does retire, saying he doesn't want to be the third best, fourth best, or fifth best. He wants to be number one, and he can't. So it's time to call it. My heart goes out to him too. This is a guy who's fought a who's who at featherweight, and despite never reaching the top of that mountain, he has always been a fan favorite and just seems like a genuine nice guy overall. And that's something that like fans appreciate. From such moments as the Mark Hominick fight to the Leonard Garcia fight, I loved his comeback against Dennis Bermudez after doing his mandatory military service in Korea, I should say. And then just fantastic fights. Like the first Leonard Garcia fight, the Yair Rodriguez fight is fantastic. Just one mistake on his part, but that fight is unbelievable. And my heart goes out to him. Fantastic career in the cage, fantastic moments, fights, just everything about him. He had this aura of him that was just undeniable. in my mind. So thank you, Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie, for a wonderful career. And I'm blessed to have been a part of it and to have been here as a fan watching since your debut in the U.S. until now. So thank you. In our co-main event of the evening, though, somehow our co-main event of the evening, especially when you consider another fight coming up, we had Ryan Spann take on Anthony Smith in a rematch from 2021. First round, Smith attacking with low kicks, right hands. He does get a takedown. He tries to get a submission win like in his first fight. No dice. But, so, let's go to the second round. Second round, big left hand, busts open the eye of Anthony Smith. And it's bad. It's giving him trouble, giving him some rough ones. Keeps messing with it, and Spann is able to take full momentum back because of this. Third round, the pace was slowed down, way down. And Spann just starts upping the intensity near the end, but it wasn't enough as two judges and myself give Smith the fight 29-28 for your split decision win. Giga Chikadze, remember him? Been 18 months. Take on Alex Caceres. Bruce Leroy, that's who. Yeah, last time we saw Giga, he talked a lot of crap, was overlooking Calvin Kattar, wanting a fight with the Korean Zombie about 18 months ago. And Calvin Kattar did to him what Holloway did to Kattar. Kind of funny. This fight, though, all striking all the time, which is fun, as Caceres is a fun striker. Chikadze is a very good kickboxer. So he does have a padded record, but he's a good kickboxer. He's fun to watch. So first round, both dudes just landing shots back and forth, but Caceres doesn't have that same pop. His are a little more pity-patty kind of shots, whereas Chikadze has that oomph, and that kind of carries over into the second round as Chikadze is just building that momentum from that extra power in his punches, really. Third round, Caceres does have this sense of urgency in him, but he keeps getting stung as he's moving in by these big shots from Chikadze, and he's legitimately just content with just sticking back, blasting a couple good shots here and there, and a good couple kicks as well. And you know what? These blasting counters works perfectly for him as he does get a unanimous decision win. Good job after an 18-month layoff. 18 months without a job. I think he even said this. 18 months without a job is pretty rough, especially when the UFC is paying pennies. So, now, for the fight that should have been the co-main event, and I'm still salty about this, we had Erin Blanchfield versus Talia Santos. Talia Santos, she was on the wrong side of a controversial decision. A lot of people, I know a lot of fans of ours, a lot of comments I always see, they think Valentina won that fight. That's totally fine. I respectfully disagree heavily. I think Talia Santos won that fight. So, controversial decision, obviously. We're all split on it. So she's looking to kind of make a statement after having a layoff from that fight. After, I can't remember if it was an eye poke or a headbutt that smashed that orbital of hers. So she was healing that, of course. And Erin Blanchfield wants to remind the world that she's our possible future of our division and our sport. So, first round, Santos just throwing that heat, throwing a lot of right hands and low kicks. She cut open the nose of Erin Blanchfield very early on, giving her that adversity that she really hasn't had yet. And Blanchfield's having trouble as her striking is... It's fine. It's fine. It's not her bread and butter like her grappling. Like, Blanchfield does have, like, a huge head kick KO. I think it was an Invicta. But, like, it's not her bread and butter. Her grappling is a means to an end. And it's kind of like Tatiana Suarez, I guess you could say, whose striking is improving. Blanchfield's striking is improving, but it's not what they're known for or best at. So, big low kick does come and drop Blanchfield, and Santos is stuffing every takedown. Just, all Blanchfield can do is kind of pressure her against the cage with trying to work a takedown, but can't get it. Second round, Blanchfield just bites down on that mouthpiece, looking to make it gritty. Takedown defense, come and come and come. It's no dice, but she does remain in good positions to Holly home, but she's better than that. She doesn't Holly home. She does get the takedown finally, trying to get submissions, trying to maintain this control. Works for a good period of time, but Santos super strong, gets back up, stands up using the cage. Very good stuff, but it's a clear Blanchfield round. After round one was a clear Santos round, so round three had me on the edge of my seat because I'm a fan of both of them. So round three, both women landing shots back and forth, but Santos starting to gas all this lactic acid from defending takedowns over and over, starting to build up, and Blanchfield is landing more shots back, which is fantastic because these are leading into easier takedown attempts. The takedowns weren't happening. Santos is still somehow staying upright after all these takedown defenses. Very impressed by that. But Blanchfield is really coming at her, really moving. Good right hand to end the round that looked clean and pretty solid. A head kick at one point. She's really getting after it in the striking and winning the striking in my mind in the third round, while still pressuring with takedown attempts, controlling the pace of the game. And it's fantastic. I loved it. So she gets a unanimous decision win. And I'm super impressed by her. Super impressed by her consistently, honestly. But her fighting back after a tough round, having that adversity that she hasn't had, I think answered a lot of questions. Because whenever I see an up-and-coming prospect, I go, well, what happens when, like, you kick them? Like, what happens if you punch them? What happens if you throw them on their ass? What happens if you throw them on their back, What happens? Like, that's my, always my, number one question. So it's good to see her fight back from adversity. She's campaigning for a title shot right now. I think Manon Fiorot is ahead of her, personally, especially if she wins next week over Rose Namajunas. But I do think she's right there. I will say, I do think she's right there. So for the rest of the card, Junior Taffa gets to match his brother with a knockout win over Parker Porter. Him and Justin Taffa both have a knockout win over him. Valdo Cortez Acosta got this huge, I think he even called it a fastball special because he's played baseball. Fastball special over Lukasz Brzeski. Garrett Armfield showed off some really fast hands and pressure with a TKO win over Toshiomi Kazama. Michael Oleksikuch, I always butcher his name. Mikhail Oleksikuch, I believe. Probably wrong. Apologies. But he got a big TKO win in a mega awesome fight with Chidi and Jikawani. Super back and forth. Both dudes were rocking each other all the time. It was fantastic. Sankanon got a decision win over Kicktastic. Rolando Bedoya. Billy Goff got this body shot TKO over Yusaku Kinoshita. J.J. Aldridge got a finish in the second round against Yang Na by TKO with elbows just gassed out. Got a ground and pound finish. Wasn't expecting that. And finally, Sungwon Choi beat Yarno Evans by unanimous decision. And we always have the little news segment. Very quick today. Very quick news. Some MMA news. Most of it isn't MMA news, admittingly. But sadly, Maria Bueno Silva, she popped hot for, I think it was Adderall, I think I saw. Which means her win over Holly Holm is most likely getting overturned, which sucks. I love a Holly Holm loss nowadays. Then for the rest of the news, it is pro wrestling related. But I felt the need to talk about it, especially because I feel like MMA and professional wrestling are adjacent to each other. So real quick, I want to say my heart goes out to the friends and families of Terry Funk and Wyndham Rotunda, better known as Bray Wyatt. Both men passed away this week within 24 hours of each other. I'm a pro wrestling fan. If you watch the preview shows, me and Carl make pro wrestling references 99% of the time, it feels like. So I love my professional wrestling. So it was a hard 24 hours at one point this week, seeing those two pass away. 36 years old for Bray Wyatt. Terry Funk was much older, but still, kiss your loved ones. You never know when the time is up. That's all I want to say on that. And that's it for me, though, after that sad moment. Be sure to be on the lookout, though, for something that isn't sad. It's quite awesome, actually. Again, we have a fighter interview with, was it against her? No, we have a fighter interview with Sabina Mazo, LFA right now, doing really good stuff, trying to get back to the UFC. It's a fantastic interview. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. Please check it out. It's on the channel right now. It's great. It's fantastic. I will be back next week, so I know you guys don't have to miss me too much, guys. I know it's hard going through the week, not having your daily dose of Joe. But if you really want to, you can always rewatch a lot of old retro reviews. I love making those. We got one coming out pretty soon, and I'm about to actually work on one today. So, there you go. I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you so much for watching.